I'm happy to discuss it. I'm happy to be contradicted on these topics. Welcome back. Today I want to revisit a little thing that happened a couple of years ago, which you may remember, which was the outlandish accusations against Till Lindemann by an individual called Shelby Lynn. Now, for those of you who don't know, basically she accused Till Lindemann of SA. Let's just put it that way, at a gig. A very specific gig, bear that in mind, where a lot of stuff went on backstage and it was this whole thing. I'm going to try and remain as neutral as possible during this, okay? But I do have an invested interest in Rammstein and Till Lindemann, so there's a little bias, but I'm going to try and reserve that as best I can for the sake of neutrality. What I'm going to do right now is to show you some clips of the lady in question who accused him of this on the day on which it allegedly happened. I'm going to give my thoughts, and I'm interested for you to comment down below if you think I am a woman-hating misogynist, or if you think that there's a little bit of validity to my points of view on this. So, let's go. First clip.
Oh my god, Till Lindemann wanted to have sex with me? What?
Okay, first of all, I think as a female Rammstein fan, I could be way off base here. I personally feel like there's women queuing up around the block to sleep with Till Lindemann. I have spoken to female fans who would leave their husbands for Till Lindemann, right? So that strikes me as odd in the first instance. It also occurs to me that if that just happened, if he just tried to have his way with you and you turned him down, and it was, you know, this aggressive, illegal, violent thing, as she alleged, I don't think the first thing that you would do is record a video of yourself and then post it to Instagram. I just don't think that's how any women's instinct would lead them to behave. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Okay, nothing terribly unusual, a little obnoxious perhaps, and childlike if I'm honest. But let's see how we get on with the next little clip here.
Rammstein! Rammstein! Hello!
Again, nothing terribly weird. I think she's a little overly enthusiastic. What I mean by that is I think it's unlikely that there aren't any illicit substances in her system. Let's keep that in mind. But, you know, enthusiastic fan at a Rammstein gig, you know, that's perfectly understandable, right? Let's continue. Once again, enthusiastic fan at a Rammstein gig, right? The thing to bear in mind is that these women, all of these together, as far as I understand, are part of like a, you know, they got a special ticket to get in the front row, so they don't know each other. I would assume that this is the first day that they've met. So I think she's being very overly enthusiastic with the hugging, and the woman that she's hugging is clearly just kind of going along with it. She doesn't seem to be giving the same energy back. Here's something very interesting. This is a clip from Colonel Kutz, who is another YouTuber who was following this case very intently. But she interviewed the woman that we just saw, the blonde lady. She interviewed her, I think it's her anyway, and she gives an interview. I think it's like a half an hour interview, but I've shortened down to one particular moment which I think is very telling from someone who was actually there on the evening in question when, you know, these allegations allegedly took place. So let's check this out.
The accuser is hanging all over Joe, and he's trying to kind of be polite but get out of her grasp and kind of, you know, placate her, sort of put her away. So was she bothering people?
From the beginning, a lot of girls notice her from the fan zone that she's kind of different. I mean, she acted differently than other girls. Other girls was like standing and waiting for the show. She was kind of bouncing her tits, and she was shouting and showing that she needs attention. She needs attention.
That little edit was me. That seems to be a large part of all of this. And by the way, the Joe guy, he's, I believe, the drum tech for Rammstein. So he's there at work, essentially, and she's not quite backstage, but sort of a mid-level between the crowd and backstage. So he's there, and she's, like, clearly being very annoying. I have been in situations with women who have behaved like that with me. They're just so annoying. They sometimes get very overly friendly, and I'm not saying this is exclusively women behavior, guys do this too, right? But I have experience of women behaving this way. It's on camera. You can clearly see she doesn't know that she's being filmed. This is just a hidden camera situation, right? And what an annoying person. And clearly she's either just very annoying as a person, which is quite possible, but she also seems quite inebriated as well. Probably her inhibitions are out the window entirely. Like I said, Joe is the drum tech for Rammstein. He's there at work. He's being a professional. She's in fact the one being all grabby and inappropriate with Rammstein's staff, you know? So it's weird that it should have gone the other way around based on things that were said. Right. But the actual video evidence that we have paints a very different picture of this person. And something that I want to address as briefly as I possibly can is that people these days are so eager to jump on a bandwagon of accusations without any actual evidence. They read a headline and go, oh, well, that person's obviously just a terrible person, without giving it much thought. And, you know, you go on the internet and you'll find any random belief that you may have and find other like-minded people, right? This is why flat earthers exist, right? If you go on the internet and look up Reddit, I believe chairs are sentient, then you're going to find other people that believe the same thing, right? And that applies to this too. It's too easy to get an opinion and then find others online to back up your opinion, and it creates like an echo chamber thing, right? And then before you know it, people are having their careers ruined over he said, she said stuff. Now, something else I want to give my thoughts on is a little speech thing that she clearly did not long after this incident, because her hair looks the same, so I'm going to guess this was not long after. And it's this little speech about how oppressed women are and how men dominate women and everything. We'll get into it. Let's see what we think about this one.
We as women are seen as objects. It's as if the men speak for us. We don't have our own thoughts, feelings, morals. We live in a man's world, very much so. Do we?
Do we really? Okay, madam, then why is it that you can perfectly freely as a man, get an education, or get a driving license, or become a doctor if you so choose? Get the same medical attention if you're in an accident or something. She seems to have this outdated way of thinking that, you know, we still live in the Dark Ages or something. You know, if you were living in the Middle East, then sure, I could get behind that. But you live in the West, you live in Northern Ireland, or at least you're from Northern Ireland. probably live in the West, I assume. I don't know where you get this idea from. I dated someone long term who sort of had the same mindset, and we had very frequent conversations which ultimately ended up in arguments about this exact thing. Like, men dominate women. I'm like, okay, so why are most homeless people men? Why are most suicides men? Some women seem to have developed this victim complex in recent times. Like when I was young, when I was 19, 20, no women were speaking like this at all. And I put this down to, again, the echo chamber thing with social media, Reddit, the internet, blah, 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 blah. I have personal experience of someone, at least, who thinks this way. And it doesn't serve you well to be a victim. Anyone can be a victim. Let's move on to the next clip here.
A woman speaking for herself, how dare she? How dare she have her own thoughts, ambitions, desires?
Do women not have their own thoughts and desires? Am I missing something here? Do women actually not... Are women under the thumb of men so much that they can't decide what colour shoes they want to wear or something? I'm a man, you know, I'm a stupid, misogynist caveman, right? I don't believe what she said was true. Another thing that I will point out is that her performance, let's call it that, seems very performative. It doesn't seem very genuine to me. I have a bit of a knack of seeing through people's BS. And again, what the woman who was with her on the night of the gig said, she needs attention.
She needs attention.
And she's now here standing in front of a bunch of women. So she has attention. She's succeeded in that sense. Next clip.
Okay.
What are you applauding? What are you applauding? You are applauding a young woman's delusion that we still live in the Dark Ages. And that she has you all collective women there have a literal ball and chain around your leg. She didn't do anything. She didn't say anything constructive or helpful to women at all. In fact, she's just prolonging this suspicious narrative of you know, the patriarchy, etc., which I just don't buy. Anyway, next clip.
Girls, everybody here, we have so much power. You have no idea how powerful we are together.
Okay, that's a bit of fact. That's a bit of truth. She's actually just said what I've been saying, is that you actually do have power in modern Western society. She said it herself. So what are you doing? You're contradicting yourself. You're saying that men are keeping us down and everything, but we have so much power. Like, which is it? I'm confused. Next clip.
I will never shut up. Never.
Okay, that I also believe. That is, yeah, that's probably the most truthful thing that she has said. That she will not shut up. So this is just skimming the surface of this case, but I wanted to address these couple of videos because I think maybe this little speech thing made it to the mainstream media news type thing, but I strongly suspect that the ones of her being an obnoxious twat didn't, because that doesn't make her case look very good. Something also to bear in mind about what I was saying about people jumping on bandwagons and all that is that news stories, the news loves controversy. They thrive on it. It makes them money, right? It's their lifeblood. And so they have to stick with one story, or one side of a story, I guess. And you can't go for the side of a big celebrity man gets accused, but he definitely didn't do it, because that's not interesting, is it? While it may be factually true, it doesn't sell newspapers, it doesn't get clicks on websites. What does is accusation, accusation, That's what I mean. Like, people need to be more aware of this stuff, and I don't know how people aren't aware of this stuff. Like, who trusts the news in this day and age? Come on. So another little clip here. I don't know when this is from. I would imagine this is from around the time of the gig, but again, this one to me seems a little performative. See what you think.
Do not meet your idols. F Rammstein. F them. I swear to God, Till Lindemann is a pedophile piece of...
Till Lindemann is a PDF file? What? Huh? Are you 12? What's going on here? At first it's he essayed me. Now he's a PDF file. Get your story straight. That, to me, seems, again, very performative. It's very easy for women to cry, I've learned in my time on this planet. Much easier than for guys. Women have this inherent ability to cry, much more so than guys do. When a guy's crying, you know it's serious. When a woman cries, it could be serious, but it could also be just embellishing a point, right? And that's unfortunate, because it's that kind of emotional manipulation shouldn't be a thing. It shouldn't happen, but it does. And that is what that screams to me. And speaking of performative crying, we'll remember this, don't we?
I don't want to do this. He on my pee. He thought he was.
I'm not even going to get into the Amber Heard Johnny Depp thing, because it's way too big to bother with in this video. But it's the same thing. And it's so transparent to me personally. I can see through it. Maybe you can't. Maybe a lot of people can't. Maybe it works on most people. It's like, woman is crying, automatically believe her, right? That's not necessarily the case a lot of the time. And it's sad that they should abuse their power in that way. A couple of last things I'll leave you with. There are a couple of images. There's this, which is apparently, according to her, and I remember this from when it happened, that is from when Till Lindemann attacked me, is what she said. And bear in mind the video that I showed at the beginning of her going, Till Lindemann wanted to have sex with me. Ugh. If that bruise had been caused by Till Lindemann in that moment, you would not be doing a caricature of yourself for Instagram. I don't think. I've been in mosh pits. I've been to a lot of gigs. I've been to mosh pits. And I've come out of a mosh pit with plenty worse than that. And it's also suspect. I don't know how tall she is, but it does look almost the same height as the barriers that are down the front of a live event. Just a thought. And the final thing that I want to leave you with is that I went on Google and looked up her name and Rammstein, went to the news section, filtered it for the last year, and this was the result. So, when she said that she wouldn't shut up about it, that was also a lie. But I bought it. I was fooled in that sense, wasn't I? I just said like that. I believe you there. But yeah, apparently she has shut up, thankfully. So that's really all I wanted to talk about, just as a revisiting of this, because I had conversations about this at the time, and I didn't have a YouTube channel or a little collective of people that are invested in music to share my thoughts on this with. So I thought I'd do it now. Better late than never. But yeah, very fishy, very transparently nonsense as far as I'm concerned. I don't know about you, but I don't know how people still fall for headlines these days. If this is the first video of mine that you've watched, this is very different to what I normally do. I don't usually cover controversial drama stuff, but here we are. And if you're already subscribed, then thank you for being here. Do let me know what your perception on this whole case was, because I'm happy to discuss it. I'm happy to be contradicted on these topics. So let's open a conversation. down in the comments. I still have not thought of how to end videos yet. So, I'm just going to say, go away.